We're exploring a pretty brutal truth of human nature today. Our evolutionary wiring actually drives us to seek comfort, but the success we so desperately crave, well, that requires pain. Today we're unpacking a concept called the discipline of giants, which is this fascinating breakdown of the human mindset and our innate desire to just take the path of least resistance. You see, we live in a world that constantly sells us convenience, but the core argument we're looking at today proposes that this very convenience is actually a trap. It points out that while literally everyone claims to want the prize at the finish line, almost no one actually wants to run the grueling marathon to get there. So we're going to break down exactly why comfort is so dangerous and how shifting your perspective on struggle can completely rewire your future. Let's get into it.
The text draws a stark contrast between two entirely different ways of living. On one side, you've got the mindset of people who are deeply, deeply in love with comfort. You know the type. They're the ones who hit snooze for just 5 more minutes. They absolutely thrive on excuses and easy dopamine. Hours just lost to scrolling, gaming, wasting time, and then turning around and blaming bad luck for their circumstances. And they constantly wonder, why isn't my life changing? Well, the answer presented here is actually pretty simple. Comfort might feel really safe, but it's incredibly dangerous because it silently kills dreams. It avoids hard conversations and just quits the second life gets difficult. But then, look at the alternative. The opposing mindset operates on a completely different frequency. These folks move when they're exhausted. They do the heavy lifting when absolutely nobody's watching. They actively choose to suffer today so they can win tomorrow. Because while the gym hurts and discipline hurts and failure hurts, the point here is that regret is the ultimate destroyer. The argument is that lasting success requires choosing the temporary pain of discipline over the lasting agony of regret.
Which brings us to a really heavy realization, and it's a question you kind of have to answer for yourself right now. Are you building your future, or are you slowly destroying it with comfort? Take a second to honestly think about that. The material insists there's absolutely no neutral ground here. You are either moving forward or you're sliding backward. Every single day that you decide to choose comfort, someone else out there, someone with the exact same goals as you, by the way, is choosing greatness. They're out there putting in the reps while you're resting. And one day, the difference between those two choices is going to become completely undeniable. So let's ground this philosophy in a story to really see how it plays out in everyday life. Let me introduce you to Alex. Alex is basically a proxy for so many of us. He's a guy with massive dreams and really big goals. He desperately wanted money, he wanted respect, and he wanted success. But as we all know, wanting something and actually doing what it takes to get it are two very, very different things. Every single morning, Alex's alarm would ring at exactly 5 a.m. And every single morning, he did exactly what most people do when faced with that harsh noise in the pitch dark. He pressed the snooze button. He was completely trapped in this cycle of comfort, dreaming big but acting small.
Tomorrow, I'll start. Man, it's the ultimate lie we constantly tell ourselves, isn't it? Psychologists actually call this delayed discounting, meaning our brains literally value a tiny bit of comfort right now over a massive reward later on. It's the absolute anthem of the comfort zone. For Alex, that tomorrow quickly turned into next week, and then next week seamlessly faded right into next year. The source paints this really vivid picture of a guy who sat around watching motivational videos every single day, soaking up all that secondary inspiration, but never actually changing his underlying habits. He felt like he was doing something just by consuming the content, but his reality remained completely stagnant.
Just notice the massive disconnect here between Alex's desires and his actions. He wanted the body, the success, and that unshakable confidence, but his fatal flaw was expecting to get it all without the training, the sacrifice, and the struggle. You just cannot achieve greatness without paying the toll. Because Alex constantly avoided the struggle, and because he always opted for that comfort that feels so good in the immediate moment, his life quietly stayed exactly the same. He was destroying his future quietly, day by day, simply by refusing to be uncomfortable.
But everything changes for Alex one night when he has a chance encounter with an old gym owner. This absolute veteran of discipline takes one look at Alex and delivers this brutal but completely necessary wake-up call. Your problem isn't lack of talent. Your problem is addiction to comfort. Ouch, right? At first, Alex just laughs nervously, kind of trying to brush it off. But it's the unvarnished truth. It strips away all those convenient excuses about bad luck or not having the right opportunities. The actual root cause of his stagnation was simply an addiction to feeling cozy.
And the old man didn't stop there. He followed it up with a simple, dividing rule. Weak men chase comfort. Strong men chase growth. That framework was the exact moment the illusion shattered for Alex. He finally realized the harsh reality of his situation. Nobody was coming to save him, Motivation wasn't going to magically pull him out of bed in the morning, luck wasn't going to build his dream life, and his friends couldn't do the work for him. Only his own internal discipline could actually change his life.
Which brings us to the core definition presented in the text. Success is pain repeated daily. The explainer argues that it's not magic, it's not luck, and there are absolutely no shortcuts. Now, while it's completely human nature to desperately search for life hacks and easy ways out, the philosophy here requires accepting this harsh definition and building a life on the daily repetition of difficult, painful tasks. It frames discipline as the only actual bridge between having goals and actually accomplishing them.
So, armed with this new mindset, let's see what happens to Alex. The very next morning, at 5 a.m., the alarm rings. And yeah, of course, the physical urge to sleep again was still right there screaming at him. But this time, he finally stood up. He bypassed the comfort and executed his new routine. First, a freezing cold shower to shock the system, which, let's be honest, is exactly as miserable as it sounds. Then, an intense workout, followed by reading and learning new skills. No fanfare, no hype, no motivational videos playing in the background, just pure execution, working in complete silence while the rest of the world slept.
And here is where the explainer illustrates the absolute magic of compounding discipline. As Alex kept going, the days of working in silence began to stack up. Those days turned into weeks, and his body visibly became stronger. The weeks turned into months, and his mind became sharper, and for the very first time, his confidence became real, like earned confidence, not just arrogant posturing. The source points out a really crucial secret here. Life didn't suddenly get easier for Alex. The weights didn't get lighter. The mornings definitely didn't get warmer. Rather, Alex himself became stronger.
Just one single year of relentless, unwavering discipline can completely change the entire trajectory of your life. It sounds so simple, right? But tragically, the text reminds us that most people will never, ever experience this transformation. Why? Because they quit too early. They hit that first wall of resistance, that very first moment where the pain outweighs the initial excitement, and they retreat right back to their safe little comfort zone. But if you can hold the line for just 1 year, the argument is that you become completely unrecognizable.
As we start to wrap up this analysis, we're left with this foundational law of human nature, presented by the author. Comfort makes you weak, struggle makes you powerful. It's presented as this unbreakable law of the universe. When you avoid hard things, your capacity to handle life shrinks. But when you actively seek out the struggle, you forge a resilience that literally cannot be broken. It's a choice you have to make every single day.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought from the explainer today.